Hey, good morning, guys. This is Dan. Welcome to my channel, Engelgeist. God, today I am just like, I don't know. It's a rough go for this Monday. Technically, this is the reading for tomorrow, Tuesday the 30th. My ass is dragging this morning. I'm not sure. In today's forecast, we were told to water our garden, so I'm going to attempt to, proverbially or metaphorically water my garden today. I could certainly use it. We have that underpinning energy of that Ten of Swords. All the planets are not all the planets, but a lot of planets are retrograde right now, including Mercury, so that could be some of this drag that I'm feeling. It's just been a rough morning. For those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you very much. After the first of the month, this month, I will put up the Archangel reading and the Cupid's Love reading for July. You guys, the horoscopes have gone up for July for the signs, the taroscopes. Those are on the YouTube channel or on the business page. Please like and follow from either place, or both would be ideal. That way you get notified when I go live. You can also follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333, and you can always contact me at the business page on Facebook if you want to book a private reading that's more in detail and about your particular situation. All of these readings are broad spectrum, so they're intended to reach a lot of people all at once. So you have to sort of apply where these cards fit in your life. If they don't fit, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means that you might be on a different trajectory. I do believe that each reading is timeless, because I ask for the highest good for the greater collective. So I believe that always stands, true and firm whenever you find it. Spirit has a way of making sure that you find the message when you need it. So this forecast is for Tuesday the 30th of June, but that doesn't necessarily mean that if you see it on a different day, it doesn't apply to your situation in your life. So you can always leave it on and listen and see if it does. Little interesting exercise. I did go back and looked at my beginning of the year, shot back in last December, the yearly forecast, the taroscopes for the signs. I went back and I looked at one for Pisces and one for another sign of somebody that I know pretty well, that I know what they're going through a little bit. And so I looked at both of them, and it was interesting. There were some significators or signifiers that were going on right now that were actually in the reading, or it made sense, in a broad sort of way. So you might want to go and check out your yearly taroscopes, just see how the first 6 months you fared and how the next 6 months you might fare. Again, they are broad spectrum readings. Alright, so let's get into today. You can always play roulette too with my readings, either with the dailies. Just like pick a day and listen to it and see what the message is, see if it works for you. So, reading roulette. And give the video a like if you're enjoying it, or if you enjoy these videos, always please hit the thumbs up button. It lets people know that, my videos are enjoyable, if they are. Maybe they're not, I don't know. Today I'm feeling just off, so this reading, hopefully it will be okay. Oh wow, I've not seen this card in this deck. This is actually a really beautiful card. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is Major Arcana, guys. And it's got all of the signs on it. What is this? Let me look at this really quick. That's not the sign for Aries, and that's not Taurus. So, it's got, let me just show you, I don't know how well you guys can see this. It's got all of the symbols of the planets, and then the different signs for each planet. I don't know that these are all correct though, are they? No, I guess they are. Cancer is the moon, and there's Cancer, Gemini, I guess it is Gemini. Is that really Aries? Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune, it says adaptation and elevation. So the Wheel of Fortune is major arcana, and to me the wheel always moves slowly. You know, like we have the course of the year, obviously the 12 planets and the 12 signs of the zodiac and all of their you know, planets. To me the Wheel of Fortune is always this idea that it's spinning slowly in whatever direction we're sort of like allowing it to, and that's that adaptation part of this card. To me, sorry, I'm just really spacey, guys. I did not want to get out of bed this morning. To me, what we choose to adapt to and what we choose to ease into and lean into, so to speak, is what we're going to probably get more of. I mean, we can resist something and fight it and get more of that too, certainly. But this idea of adaptation and elevation is this idea of whatever we put into our Wheel of Fortune, if we allow it to sort of spin, whatever energy, whatever thought, whatever, you know, thoughts require energy, energy builds those thoughts, right? And if they're thoughts of negativity, worry, fear, we end up putting that into the Wheel of Fortune. It spins it around and we sort of create that vibration, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The next thing you know, we're facing the very fear that we were attempting to try and avoid. Or vice versa, it works the other way too, I believe, where if you're putting in positive thoughts, you can quite possibly, and I'm not saying it's always a given, but you can quite possibly create exactly what you're looking for positively too. The Wheel of Fortune has power, but I feel like it takes time, you know? Like it's not like an easy process. It's not like a swift moving card like the Chariot. To me, this feels like we're just in the middle of it, guys. And this Wheel of Fortune card to me feels like it's just reminding us that we still have power, even in moments of doubt or worry or fear. We still have a choice. First and foremost, we have free will, right? We also have the power to continue to create in that vein or in that energy if we're not careful, if we're not paying attention, if we're just running off of that vibe of like just pure born fear. That gives us power too. It's a slow moving power. It's like sort of we're not really aware of it in the moment. We think we're doing the right thing, and we're maybe protecting ourselves in a way that is actually taking us further away from what it is that we want. I can certainly relate to that in some ways right now. So the wheel, I think, is showing up today to remind us of that, and to tell us also that we're connected. We're connected to a much bigger sort of energetic pattern, system, tapestry, whatever the word is you want to use. It's sort of like all of these signs, all of these planets, all intertwined, all sort of moving together, all functioning together. Sometimes they don't function so well, they go retrograde and things go wonky, but it's kind of like a rebalance or a reset. And if we can see our way through it and stay as even-keeled as possible, we'll be better off for it in the end, right? Like, or when we get through that period. Now, with this Ten of Swords energy that's kind of lingering underneath, and, you know, we're also moving, we're not quite yet moving in, we might be moving into the Dawn of Pentacles, which is that sort of like Page of Pentacles, which is that new message or gift. We want to keep this in mind, that whatever we're sort of focusing on, however we're holding ourselves, whatever we're looking at, you know, what are our thoughts about it? Do we believe, you know, I'm just using this as an example, maybe we have an illness or a sickness that we believe blocks us from being at our full potential. Well, then more than likely that illness or sickness is going to block you from being at your full potential. There's ways of looking at your full potential in different ways. Do you understand? Like, instead of using something to limit yourself, how do you kind of switch it so that it can lift you up? And I'm not saying it's just a sickness or a disease, but it can be anything, right? If we're looking at the world around us, where are we sort of judging the world and separating ourselves from it versus getting involved, trying to understand what's going on and maybe help the situation? You know, I'm just using these as bigger, broader examples. But these would be things that you would want to look at, especially with the Wheel of Fortune, because it's kind of calling us to adapt. It's calling us to a, that word elevation is to rise or evolve to a higher state of being. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of the opportunity to do that. It will shift us up in a very big way. It may take a little while and some patience, but it will shift us if we allow it. And that's good to know for me, because today is not my day. Or at least I wasn't feeling like it was my day, but maybe I can change it around today. Let's see what the Starseed Oracle has to say. Oh, this is a new card to us. We, the Hathors, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. So Hathor is an Egyptian goddess. I know that. I'm not sure whose mother she is. I believe she's like a famous Egyptian mother. We'll have to read her story, but when I look at this, it's like, again, this is similar to that water your garden energy, or that, what did we see? I want to say, was it Pulsing Earth? What was the one that we saw? Oh, I don't even think I wrote it down for Sunday. I don't remember what the Starseed was for Sunday. There's just been a lot of... Oh, it was Portal. So I think that maybe, July 5th, which is the end of this week, we have one more eclipse. And I couldn't tell you if it's lunar or solar. I don't really remember. But we have like a final eclipse of like 9 eclipses that have been happening in Capricorn and Cancer. A series of 9 or something like that I've been reading somewhere. I can't remember. But July 5th, which is the end of this week's cycle, is sort of like another eclipse, which could be the closing of this portal or this doorway. And we did have Portal. Portal was what we had on Sunday, because remember, the shadow was looking at the portal, and I didn't like that the devil was looking into the portal like he, like that, I don't know, that devil might possibly follow us through if we don't shake it. This Wheel of Fortune says to me that we can shake it. This Wheel of Fortune says to me that it's just as powerful as the card, the Shadow, that was on Sunday. But we have to really focus on like sort of shifting our energy and the patience and the time that it takes to do so. But being productive with that, being powerful with that, being supported by this We the Hathors, right? This mother's milk, this sort of birth energy, or like our divine birthright, right? That we as spirit or soul have to create whatever it is that we want, whatever our bliss, requires. We have to believe that we deserve it, though. That's the thing. That's where I struggle most. I can promise you that. Is that, and this is just me, revealing a little bit more of myself, but my self-confidence wavers all of the time. I wish that it didn't. But I also believe that that's part of being human. That's part of the experience that we came down here to have. And yeah, it feels uncomfortable at times, or maybe embarrassing, or it makes us do things we don't want to do, or behave in ways that like we otherwise wouldn't normally behave. But the truth is that I think that it's all part of growth, it's all part of experience, it's all part of this human experience. I don't think we're supposed to be, like people say, oh, you need to be at high vibration and this, that, and the other, and I do believe that. I believe that helps. High vibration helps this Wheel of Fortune to move in a more steady, faster, positive direction, and I think that's key and great. But I also believe that there's a polarity in this universe, that you have to experience high with low. You have to have light with dark. You can't have one and then not the other. If you evolve to just one, then you might as well be dead and on the other side. Right? And even on the other side, there's still lower vibrations than higher vibrations. There's probably still polarity on the other side. I can't speak to it because I don't know, if I remember fully what goes on over there. But I believe my instincts tell me that there's probably polarity over there to a degree. We just understand it better. We accept it easier. We're more in line with it. So this We the Hathors card feels to me like, again, this is being called out, that a portal is happening. Some doors, open. It's interesting to me that we had Portal on Sunday, and I've been doing all of the horoscopes, the tarot for July, asking with the Divine Doors card, which door are we opening and which one are we closing? And so with this final eclipse, and then I believe right after the eclipse on the 12th, the 11th or 12th of July, Mercury will go back direct, and then the other planets will start to go direct too over a period of time. When Saturn goes back direct, it's going back direct into Aquarius, which is what it was doing when COVID first broke. So we could be in for another shakeup. Let me read We the Hathors really quick. Deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Birth is a portal that ushers in new life. The Hathors are here to remind you that you're a child of the cosmic mother, and you're being called to be held by her deep, never-ending love and embrace. This is a tender, nourishing card reminding you to receive the deep, deep love of the mother's embrace. God, I could use that today, let me tell you, because I've had a rough morning. The Hathors know that the journey on Earth can be rocky and lonely at times, but you're being reminded to rest more deeply in the mother's arms. This is a card of extreme potency, and it's interesting, so is the Wheel of Fortune, guys. Like, it's a very potent card too for creation. It says this is a card of extreme potency, of femininity, of creation, and of birth. You're being called to mother yourself and others too, to surrender to your sacred femininity, to create and surrender to your own creations, to hold and be held. To be honest, I think that's what's fucking me up right now, is I just feel super lonely. You're being called to remember your place in the web of life and to realize that the cosmic mother is watching you every step of the way. You may be going through a transition right now, moving from one way of being to another. If so, you're being reminded that you're cradled in a sacred container, that you're more held than you can possibly imagine, and you have access to more love than your heart can bear. If you're struggling in any way, you're being reassured that things will work out. Open yourself to receiving the overflowing love of the cosmic mother flooding toward you from every direction. Let it stretch your heart. The Starseed activation is place this card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following: I allow the deep love of the cosmic mother to wash over me. I am loved. I am held. I'm going to just go straight to the grounding stone, guys. So the grounding stone is sharing for today on Snowflake Obsidian. It's a nice mixture of black and white mixed together. Talk about polarities. I think sharing is, what can we share about ourselves? Where are we at? What can we share with ourselves? When we are sharing, whatever it is we are sharing, we need to be conscious of what it is, because we're also putting that into our Wheel of Fortune. The Hathors, or this sort of cosmic mother energy, is around to care for us. Share in that today. Allow yourself to be bathed in that, like the card said. It sounds like a beautiful opportunity. Remember, the underpinning energy of this week is that forgive stone. If there's anywhere where you can find forgiveness for yourself or for another, probably now would be the time to do that. Share that forgiveness. So that you can be free of it as we walk through this portal, so that we can put different experiences into our Wheel of Fortune, so that we can elevate and adapt to newer opportunities and things of that nature, because it looks like this cosmic mother wants to share something with us, her love. So we need to expand ourselves and be open to it, and also allow it into our Wheel of Fortune. Sorry I got a little bit weepy, guys. It's just been a rough morning. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. This is the end of June is over. So there will not be a poll for the next decks. I'm just going to choose the next decks. But please tune in tomorrow and we'll see how the new decks start off and what happened and where we go for the month of July. Alright, thank you for watching, you guys. Each and every one of you mean the world to me, and I will see you guys soon. Alright, love you. Take care. Bye-bye.